We must stop the terror. Now watch this drive.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
Okay, it is that time of the week where we discuss what's going on out there, okay? But before we get into that, upcoming stand-up dates. This Sunday, Edmonton, Alberta. Following week, we are in St. John, New Brunswick. Tickets going fast. Grip them today. April 27th in Fredericton. New location for that. So if you do have tickets, be sure that you are updated on where we will be. We will be at Club Chrome. Then following that, May 2nd in Barrhead, May 3rd in Fort McMurray, May 9th in Hanna, May 10th in Medicine Hat, May 23rd in Halifax, Nova Scotia, June 6th and 7th. I will be in Kelowna, June 12th. Just added Churchbridge, Saskatchewan. Yeah, exactly. I'm killing it. June 14th in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, October 17th in Berwyn, Alberta, October 18th in Grand Prairie, Alberta. Tickets available at dangercatshop.com. Head on over to the Patreon to support the show, patreon.com/dangercat69. The great way for the cost of a beer, you can keep this production, this heavy level production that we have in the studio here today. The live studio audience, as always, they're here with us. We have a wonderful show ahead of you. I've planned this one all out. It's going to be a fun little time that we're going to have with one another. Past weekend, Lloydminster and Malag, Alberta shows were great. Crowds were phenomenal. As always, we drag out an audience that's there to laugh. No. Here's the thing, folks. We're doing it. We're doing the damn thing. Anyways, let's get into it. I had this, a bit of a reflection on oneself as I'm driving to these locations and thinking to myself, how do we become inclusive? How does Danger Cats comedy, do we rebrand? We include everybody, and you know what? We're in this election cycle now in Canada, and everybody is unhinged. The left seems to think that they're fighting fascism, and women are going to lose the ability to murder children inside their womb. And I say that with conviction because that's what you're doing. No, I don't care. Kill your kids. You know what? At the end of the day, do it you please. Whatever is going to make you quiet, right? What do we got to do to get some peace and solitude around here? Do I need to cancel an internet subscription? Is that what I got to do? Do I just got to go and exist in the world outside of a computer screen and then realize that most of us are totally unhinged as well? Is the internet gripped our brains to the point that we're all just boiled down dumbasses? We are just at one another, like these conversations that you're having in public now. I bump into a lot of people. I'm discussing things, and this election has everybody so riled up right now. Children are a part of the political discussion, and the Canadian government is now. I don't even think it was the Canadian government, but I briefly read an article where they're asking on whether or not they should drop the voting age in Canada to 16 because children now are so politically involved. They can't drink, they can't smoke, they can't fuck, but God forbid they can vote in a federal election. If I was a teenager, take me back to 2006 when I'm 16 and I could be heading to the polls, right? I could not have been less politically involved as a teenager. I would be advocating more for dropping the drinking age. Allow me to purchase cigarettes without a fake ID. That's what I would be. You want to win that vote? That would have got me in 2006. Hook, line, and sinker. The legalization of marijuana. That would have been the talking points to grab me. But now children are involving themselves in the political discussion by having these TikTok live debates with one another, really hitting on some pressing issues that they're facing in the latter years. The later years. Why did I say latter? This is what I mean. This is why you don't come to this show to gain a new perspective. You don't come to this show to hear a talking point that you could possibly agree with. You know, somebody who is struggling with the English language is speaking to you right now. But these children, you know, we can't listen to them. Instead, you got to listen to a moron who purchased microphones and a soundboard and has a somewhat of a decent following on social media. That's what you have to do. That's who's persuading the youth. And now all these they're asking to drop the age for voting in the nation. How did we get here? Social media has caused such a division between us because we're being like the smoke and mirrors involved with it has completely eroded any form of like just cordial conversation that can take place between human beings on these talking points, on this, and it proves my point that we are all too stupid to be involved in the conversation, including myself. That's why I'm sitting back this election season. That's why I'm laying in the cut. I'm tired of hearing that democracy is at stake. It's every election. Democracy is at stake. And that's supposed to get me motivated to go and vote for. If you don't vote for me, the democracy is at stake. Like I have an option. Lay out the options. I'm looking at them. I am not motivated to get off the couch and go vote right now. What is wrong with me? Am I the problem? Am I the issue? You know, I'm having these heated debates with individuals, and they're like, you gotta get out there and make sure that you don't vote conservative. It's like, I don't want to vote for anybody. I don't want to vote for anybody right now. There is nobody that I look, the 336 that sit in there and go, Mr. Speaker. I don't view them as a beacon of hope. It is destroyed. I am black-pilled now. But that's what it is. Now we have to have the children involved in the conversation. And I'm trying to be inclusive. I'm trying to rebrand myself. So I've come up with this magnificent idea because like I am stuck in the middle right now. I have never been down the middle in my life. I don't know if I enjoy it or it just infuriates me more. Because on the left side of things, if we're looking at this as a political, you know, from political lenses, the left is now those that lean a little more left are looking at me like I'm the second coming of an Austrian painter due to the silly little bits that I do, the things that I find funny, are on par with somebody who wrote a novel called Mein Kampf. All right. So they're branding me as a white nationalist, right? And then you go to the right-wing side of things. They're viewing the comedy that I do is like refreshing, right? They say that this is nice to hear, even though this is the language that was being used 8-9 years ago inside of, you know, lunch trailers or inside of pickup trucks heading to a job site. This is language that they are very familiar with and just have not heard in a while. And I am too stubborn and too stupid to change course. That is where I'm at, right? So now with that now brings in a new a whole new avenue of problems, because now over here, most of those people that think like that on the left are involved in the arts. They have their fingertips deeply wrapped around these theaters, these venues. So they're terrified to bring in somebody who not even thinks like me, but says the things that I do. So they're terrified. And then now immigrants who have moved here and have acquired most of these businesses They are looking to generate some income for the business, and they invite me in with open arms to perform my silly little bits inside their venues, which leaves me in the middle, because the left views me as somebody that should be standing up and screaming about immigration and being like, throw them or whatever, like spray painting on shit. Like I seen the other day, like when was it? I seen somebody spray painted like Yeats on a billboard, and they're associating me with like a guy like me. I'm putting that out there. It's me doing that, right? Like I'm the guy that went and spray painted that on a billboard. Where I don't even have the motivation to write that down on a piece of paper in front of me. That's how politically motivated I am these days, okay? So my issue lies is that the immigrants now are opening their arms and allowing me to perform with inside their venues that they own because they want to generate income. The left, which are like these self-cut bang retards that believe that Donald Trump is going to be the reason that they won't be able to have an abortion inside of Canada because MAGA-style politics are deeply ingrained in the Pierre Poilievre campaign. And you're advocating for it. And I'm like, no. I couldn't be more politically removed from any party, but you can't have that discussion. So now I'm sitting here and I'm supposed to be this guy, this lighthouse of fucking white nationalism, where I'm going to these venues owned by immigrants, generating income for a family that just moved here from fucking Amitsar, that owns a masala house in the middle of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, of all places. That's where I have to play. Those are the venues I'm doing, okay? Those are the venues that I have to call just to do stand-up comedy because a bunch of lunatics have email accounts. So now I'm stuck with this decision of like, where do I go with this? What do I do? So I've decided to create the Ku Klux Inclusive. Thank you. Charleston White is going to be the Grand Wizard. Kanye West will be the Imperial Wizard. He will... I can't fucking say this with a straight face. And Kanye West is going to lead the charge at the Ku Klux Inclusive. And we will be the humble jesters of the court, touring around the nation, all under one umbrella. Everybody that wants to be included, and then, like we do not discriminate. Anybody who wants to be included and being made fun of. So that's the new movement, the Ku Klux Inclusive. I don't know what the logo looks like yet. I have no idea what the logo looks like. It's just going to be, you know what? I'm going to hire one of those like abstract artists that just think that drilling holes in a bucket and swinging it around on a canvas is art. These pieces are going for $40, $50, $60, sometimes $100,000. I'm going to hire one of them to swing a bucket high on fentanyl in a warehouse in the downtown east side of Vancouver. So that way I am adding to the problem of addiction in British Columbia. I'm hiring an individual, I'm putting them to work. I'm helping the problem. I want to be a part of the problem. I don't want to solve it. Simple. And Charleston White, which I just watched this video, hilarious. Charleston White goes and meets with this guy. I don't know if they say he's a Klan member. I don't know if he is, but he goes and meets with him, and it is like watching Uncle Ruckus in that episode where he meets that racist country singer, and they get along very well because like it's just. I swear to God, the Boondocks is just they nailed it so well. A cartoon nailed it so well that they've like memed it into existence now. It's insane. It's insanity. This is the world that we exist in. And now we have the hysteria flying into America. Oh my Lord. Let's get into our first topic of the day, folks. It's flying into America. This is like, it is the focal point of the libs out here is like, if you travel to the United States, you're going to be enslaved. You're going to be put in an internment camp and you will be held hostage because Canadians right now are the most sought after terrorists on the planet. I cannot handle the hysteria surrounding this election right now. I could not give less of a shit. I want it over. Just figure it out. Let's go to the polls. Put a bow on it. This is how serious this election is that they are moving the time of the French debate because the Montreal Canadiens are playing in a crucial game right now. That's how serious we're taking this. They have moved the time of the debate because people could not be less interested in politics right now. That they would much rather, they would be tuning in to a hockey game. I wish I was lying. That is how interested the country is in this election. And the Québécois, the Bloc Québécois, are worried they're going to lose their position to the Libs, so that way they are able to move this French debate earlier in the day, so that way, you know, we can garner more votes. People are going to tune into this. This is one of the most important election of our time. Another thing, this is the most important election of our time. We must all get to the polls and show everybody how much we deeply and truly care about what is taking place in this nation, right? We got to move the time of debates so that way Canadians can enjoy their favorite pastime, and that's gargling down whatever possibly they can order off of Uber Eats and enjoy a hockey game from a fucking sofa. This is why another reason why I am removed from it all, and I sit back, I lay in the cut, and I just watch the madness unfold. It's like watching a horrible movie that you did not want to partake in, but you can't turn it off because it's so bad. You know, we've all went through the Netflix list of movies and series, and then you get locked into one that is just so bad and you're too lazy to turn it off, but you're tuned in anyways. You've invested already 45 minutes into this film, and you just have to see how it all unfolds, and the hysteria surrounding flying into America right now. And the Americans could not give less of a shit. They could not. I mean, we've seen the CBC went down, and they're trying to create this. They're trying to sensationalize the idea of the 51st state once again. And even the House Speaker is just like, who are you from? The Canadian Broadcast Corporation. Oh, welcome back. Like so nonchalant about it. Oh, welcome back. Glad you're here. What about the 51st state? And like, they're like, the 51st state. Oh, yeah, we did that a while ago. And then you come back to Canada with this short clip and try and sensationalize it. Like Donald is still thinking about annexing Canada, where it's not even on the forefront of like any of the talking points of their news organizations. No one is looking at Canada. You know what Canada is right now on the world stage? They're that screaming and yelling toddler of kind of a middle-class spoiled family that nobody's paying attention to. They had their moment. They had their shine there was a little bit of popularity because they were good at something, whether it be dance and you know, they were supposed to be a young prodigy, and that all went to shit once 13, 14 kind of came around, and they realized like, there was no talent there. You were just kind of ahead of the curve at that time, you know. It's in hockey terms, it's like, you know, when hitting was involved once you got to Pee Wee, and then you realize like, oh, that kid wasn't good. He just wasn't being tested, and now we're being tested and we're throwing tantrums because, you know, nobody wants to play the game that we want to play. That's how it feels. Because you go down to America and be like 51st state and be like, yeah, I don't know. Donald still believes that there's probably some benefits of being a part of America. Anyways, next question. And then they come back and they're like, see, they're still thinking about making us the 51st state when it was just a conversation. It was like a throw. All right. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Anyways, moving on. And the CBC is trying to like sensationalize this idea that the Americans are going to invade tomorrow. They're coming up, they're showing up to the border, and then that gets like everybody fired up. Everybody's fired up. You now have the Alberta separatists that are fucking beating their chests and being like, fuck it, we'll be a part of America. We'll probably get treated with a little bit more respect. Because we're the Texas Canada. We'll be the new Texas. We're going to put a comedy mothership in Edmonton, Alberta. We're going to be the new Austin, Texas. There'll be a Kill Tony here once a month. All the comedians will line up for their possible chance of stardom. Well, I would take that opportunity, by the way. And I'm saying this to any bookers out there. I'm saying this because I'm making fun of the Alberta separatists. Please don't kill my career. I'm barely getting started. But no. Now you have the Alberta separatists beating their chests, being like, oh, it's all going to shit. Anyways, if the Libs get in, we're out. We're out of here. That's what I want. I want to be a part of the States. I don't want to be a part of Canada anymore. And then that creates, this mass hysteria throughout the Libs. And they're like, oh, see, he still wants it. And like everybody's freaking the fuck out. And we just need Pfizer, get a shot, mute some people. I thought that shot that you guys produced was supposed to wipe out a good portion of us. I still see a lot of folks. We see the Mark Carney campaign trail. Christ almighty, that was the demographic that we thought that COVID was supposed to wipe out. I'm telling the Chinese right now to make a new one. Make a new one. You got the lab in Winnipeg, make a new one. Make something where we all lose our voice box. I'm not worried. I'm not worried in the slightest because Christ almighty, look at Aaron Belial. He's got a goddamn career. You don't think that I can't tweet shit with a speaker box on stage, make some ha-has with him? We'll call it the mute tour. I'll go with him. Me and him. We'll do theaters across America together. I'll be on America's Got Talent tomorrow. Put a vaccine in me that makes me lose my voice. I need a career and I need it now. But God forbid, I can't believe it. A small, short little clip and everybody's losing their mind. Oh, Donald's coming, and he's got tanks. He's got tanks. And then you get these goons, these Goombas. These guys are my favorite. Nothing I love more because this is how I started, was ranting in the driver's seat of a pickup truck. I respect anybody that has opinions in the driver's seat of a Chevy Silverado, especially a 2014 Chevy Silverado. That's where I got my career start. So anybody who's making some points while sitting in the driver's seat of one of those magnificent piece of machinery, just a state of an art, or just a state of an art. What am I saying? The state of art? Who gives a shit? That's what I say. But anybody that can sit in a pickup and tell the Americans, you know what, bring it on. Oh, yes, that's what we need. A gun battle with the Yankees. We all have this idea that somehow our history has fooled us. We all have this idea that we are going to be exactly like the British back in 1812 and march down there and set the White House on fire. We all have that. Remember, we didn't set the White House on fire. I got to get in arguments with these fucking guys all the time. We didn't do it. Canada didn't do it. It was the Brits. The Brits went down there, burnt the White House down. Canada was not Canada at the time. But I got to argue with these guys. Well, we'll do it again. No, we won't. No, we don't. The guys that I'm seeing like making these videos and being like, I'll throw soup cans into the trenches again. Yeah, because we're fighting wars and trench. Yeah, but that's what we're doing. Trench warfare. Have you not tapped into the Ukraine war at all? Do you not see what's happening? You want to know what this fight would be? This would be, it would be an Israel-Palestine type battle. We'd be throwing snowballs, or try at least attempting to throw snowballs in July. And God forbid they fight us in the summertime. Then we're really fucked. What are we going to do? Run around with hockey sticks and with steak knives taped to the end of it? We have no guns. Christ almighty, the RCMP seized more guns from that. I just seen an investigation in somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Saskatchewan, where some guy had like 5 firearms and everybody, holy shit. The average American has that underneath their bed. And you think that we're going to take these guys on? Look, I'm not trying to be like some sort of advocate for America here either. All right. I'm not trying to be that, but I just wanted some reality to sink into everybody's heads and be like, oh yeah, the country that pumps the most money into their military industrial complex is going to have quite the battle against, we're going to put up a fight. We got 6 airplanes and 9 of them are missing propellers. Do the math on that. Our submarines sink. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? You got to, what, because some asshole sits in like the driver's seat of a pickup and says, bring it on. Like that has the Americans shaking in their boots. I can hear their guns reloading in Texas. Enough. You're driving me up the wall with this. And I know this is not the audience to be saying this to, but I just wish some sanity would sink into the minds of some of these folks. That's what's driving me up the wall. Is like everybody is completely unhinged with their idea of like how this is all supposed to play out. We think we have this belief. We have this just far out belief. It is completely absurd, if you ask me. Now, I'm not the guy to ask about this. I'm just giving an opinion on a center-left podcast, all right? That's what I'm doing. The hysteria, don't go to America. Don't go to America. God forbid you enjoy yourself in Florida. God forbid you go down to Austin, Texas to the Comedy Mothership to see a Kill Tony episode because you might be detained at the border for trying to have a good time. Enough. You got these university professors who've like, excuse me, where is it? Big trouble at the border. Warning about the border. Canadian University. Let's take a little gander here with one another. Here we go. Canadian university teachers warned against traveling to the United States. Halifax, Nova Scotia, with the Associated Press, the association that represents academic staff at the Canadian universities, is warning its members against non-essential travel to the United States. The Canadian Association of University Teachers released updated travel advice Tuesday due to the political landscape created by President Donald Trump's administration, and some Canadians encountering difficulties crossing the border. The association says academics who are from countries that have tense diplomatic relations with the United States, who have themselves expressed negative views about the Trump administration, should be particularly cautious about U.S. travel. Its warning is particularly targeted to academics who identify as transgender or whose research could be seen as being at odds with the position of the current United States administration. In addition, the association says that academics should carefully consider what information they have or need to have on their electronic devices when crossing the border. See, this is the stuff that creates mass hysteria. Okay, how many? The trans population isn't that big. Okay, how many are traveling down in the States? What are we doing? You go down for a Pride Festival down in San Francisco? That's not for another, a couple months? Take the trip. What is a security guard going to ask you? They ask you those questions regardless. And we want to clutch our pearls because 4 people who were going down there illegally anyways got busted? Christ, we created a television show. We have a television show that all of us have watched where people tried to get into Canada and we watched them get arrested for bringing in foreign meats. Okay? Some people getting arrested for having a DUI, which is I think in this great nation, if it's almost a requirement to have. How many people do you know that have a DUI? Everybody listen to this just named 4 heads or 4 people inside their heads. Reports of foreigners being sent to detention or processing centers for more than 7 days, including Canadian Jasmine Mooney, a pair of German tourists, and a backpacker from Wales, have been making headlines since Trump took office in January. The Canadian government recently updated its U.S. travel advisory, warning residents they may face scrutiny from border guards and the possibility of detention if denied entry, crossings from Canada into the United States. See, to me, I read this and I think that this is just a ploy for them to stop travel going into the United States. There's always been scrutiny. Some people go there and they get interrogated by the border services. It's just something that happens. Do we like it? Of course, nobody likes going through that process. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, it's a wonderful time. Nothing I love more than getting interrogated at the border. But it's part of their job. It's been happening since 9/11. Let's go to 9/11. It's been happening since then. And now we're like, oh my God, it happened to me. And we're all up in arms now all of a sudden about this. And now the academia who are these academics who are taking a stance and being like, Trump he's a Nazi. Trump is a Nazi. Enough. Take the trip. Take the family to Disneyland. You promised the kids to go see Mickey Mouse. Just go take them. Enough with this. The average dad who's not even on Twitter, do you think they're pulling him aside? What are you doing down here? You think you're going to go down here and convince Mickey Mouse to be trans? Not on my watch. Not while I'm securing the border. Oh, what's this? You got a family of 5, huh? Taking the wife down to the Bahamas while the kids go splash around in a kiddie pool and you get drunk on Mai Tais? Not on my watch. Enough with this. You're driving me all nuts. See what I mean? I come on here and I lose my mind because of the sanity has left us. Collectively, as just Canadians, the sanity has left us. I think here's the issue. A lot of us now are online. This is probably a time where we can come together under, one opinion I'm going to make. And collectively, we can agree that this is a time where most of us are involved in some form of social media. And that social media algorithm is there to curate itself, to drive more attention to those apps, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm not one of them. I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the issue. I'm tapped in. I love a good Twitter scroll. It's insane on there. I can watch a fucking knife fight in Haiti, and then one scroll up, I get like some wild, unhinged take on how fucking the left is. I can't even come up with anything. That's how retarded the internet is. But it's seeping into the actions of the campaign. And that's what's bothersome to me. It's like, if you're going to try to destroy somebody's campaign, put some effort into it. Like this stop the seal buttons that the left got popped with. That's what they got popped. They got here it is. Liberal staffers planting stop the seal buttons. Unacceptable from Mark Carney. Liberal leader is calling out the actions of the two-party campaign staffers who were reported over the weekend to have planted buttons that included stop the seal. Let's take a look. Let's listen in to our guy, Mark Carney here, Edmonton's finest, ladies and gentlemen.
Members of the Liberal War Room, so the Central Campaign, distributed Stop the Steal buttons at a Conservative event. Given the anti-democratic implications of this phrase, how much does this event undermine the trust in the way that the Liberals operate, and what have you done in response to these revelations?
Thanks for the question. Look, this is totally unacceptable, to be absolutely clear. And I, on behalf of my campaign, I was unaware of this behavior, but on behalf of my campaign, I apologize for it unreservedly. Okay? I've made it absolutely clear to my campaign that this behavior or anything,
I can't believe anybody would do that.
Approximating it or in that spirit
Completely
is unacceptable. Cannot happen again.
I mean, what are we doing? You want somebody to ruin the campaign of the you want somebody to go and ruin the campaign trail of the Conservatives? Hire me. What do you do? What are we doing YouTube pranks for? Wow, we put stop the seal buttons all around. Nah, we really got them. Have something better. Come on. This is like, could we get any lower? Could we get any lower? Buttons. Stop the steal. Stop the seal. Stop the sale. Stop the steal. That's it. That's what you could come up with. You can be vindictive. Pay me. Pay me. I will go there and I will say the most unhinged things you've ever heard for a fraction of the price. A fraction. All right? I get to perform. I'll do my act at a Conservative rally out front. Cameras on me. Red lights blinking. And I will destroy the party single-handedly. And that's the best. You handed out buttons? You handed out buttons? That's what you came up with? Two of you. Me, myself. I could cause more damage than anybody that you had right there. These two idiots. This is totally unacceptable. Handing pins. Handing pins? That was the big move? Do something way more vindictive. Hit him where it hurts. Pins? That's what we're talking about. Pins? Now we had a bunch of people walking around with conspiracy theories to attach. I'll be out front screaming that Mark Carney is a lizard from a different dimension. Is that what you want? I'll do it. $100,000. Wire it to me. Send me to whatever campaign stop you want. I will cause a ruckus. And that applies to any party. I will join forces with Charlie Angus and start screaming at everybody walking into a Conservative rally, calling them Putin trolls for pennies on the dollar. Myself, that's right. I'll do it. I don't care. That's how little I care. I have no self-respect, and I will sell myself out for $1 exactly like these goons do. I have no problem with this. This is like, what kind of Looney Tune shit are we running up here? Buttons? That's what you could come up with, was buttons. Why not spray paint a swastika on something, for God's sakes? Pay some idiot. Do the exact same thing you did with the trucker convoy and have some moron walking around with a Nazi flag. Nazi flag up front. You want the optics? Get the optics. A button. Stop the steal. Applying that, the election's going to be stolen. You did it. Unbelievable. I can't, this is what I mean. This is why we can't be taken. We moved the French debate for a hockey team, and the way to undermine the Conservative campaign was to plant buttons. What arts and crafts would you like to do tomorrow? What arts and crafts would you like to do tomorrow? Why don't we all gather together? We'll knit toques. We'll knit toques with Christian insignia on it, or some Nordic symbols. Why don't we do that? Since everybody wants to come around and do arts and crafts time. I could have painted a sign that is more controversial than stop the seal or steal. Why do I'm lisping. That's how aggravated I am. The lawlessness behind it, and that this is where it gets fun, because we're going to discuss the lawlessness that's taking place in British Columbia. It's getting out of control out there, absolutely out of control. It's playoff season, so people are up in arms. This was very fun for me to watch. So this just took place in Kelowna, a golf course brawl. A golf course brawl. This is what's left. If you're not out there screaming at one another in the streets, you got to take the fight to the golf course. That's how the tension is ratcheting up. We got Canadian teams in the playoffs again. You know, it's right around the corner. This week, we should hear the announcement of where, who, what, who's playing where. And now people are taking it to the golf course. And I love this video because it is exactly what we're looking for right now on this show. We need a palate cleanser. We're getting too political, you know, and now nothing better than watching middle-aged, overweight men swing at one another. And one guy, I will say, not bad at all, has a good punch on him. And we're gonna take a look at this all together because I think it's something that, you know, that we need a palate cleanser, okay? We need a nice little palate cleanse. Oops. Here we go. This is wonderful.
Fuck off, man. Don't yell at people. Get going. Fucking yell at people, man. Hey.
You don't yell at people.
Get that fucking shit out of here. You want to fuck around? Hey, you want to fuck around? You want to go? You want to go, motherfucker? Oh, yeah. It's Monday night.
Beautiful. It's Monday night golf. If there's anything that this country takes serious, it's Monday night golf. The snow is finally off the ground out there in Kelowna. I don't think they get that much snow anyways, but the golf courses are open. The old boys need a reason to get outside, get away from the wives. And now, just like every other altercation that takes place, a bunch of fat, overweight idiots rubbing their they're doing belly wrestling to begin with. This is Monday night golf, he says. Beautiful.
You get one shot and then watch what happens. Seriously, buddy. Do it. It's Monday night fucking golf. You in a rush where you gotta be? You hit up our ass all day. Don't fucking you push me. He pushed me first. You got one back. You got one back. Oh, you want to push me? Eh? Come on, man. Bring it on. Bring it on, buddy.
This is retarded.
Yeah. Seriously, come on, man.
You can step in, Justin. You can.
There is nothing I love more than a female involved in a fist fight. You know, they're like, stop it! Like that's gonna, you know, like you gotta, women cannot remove the idea that they got to treat men like children all the time. Like we're in the middle of war. That's what wars need. We need just a maiden out in the wilderness just screaming. You know, this is it. Like this right here should be, that woman should be over in Palestine right now. That woman right there should be in Palestine. And when she wraps that up, ship her on over to the Ukraine and the war will be wrapped up tomorrow. You just need a lady with a voice like that. Scream, fucking stop it. And everybody kind of, you know, like, all right, things are getting out of control. The women are screaming. Fellas, it's time to knock it off. It's getting out of control out here. Fucking stop it. Nothing more embarrassing, too, like you running your lips and then getting your ass handed to you. You know, I'll give you the fucking first one. No. What are you, a dummy? He's getting shit pumped. And he pushed me first. Oh, I pushed him back. He gave a good push. But anyways, let's onward.
Justin, you can help de-escalate.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. This is crazy, hun.
You're fucking crazy.
Okay, the cops are going in.
No,
Oh.
no, guys.
Crazy.
Oh, you want to
You're
go?
fucking crazy.
Look at this bitch. Let's go.
Bitch.
Come on.
You guys are fucked. No, not. I don't know you.
Hey, guys.
You guys are fucked.
Let's go.
Let's take it down a notch, guys.
Allegedly, the guy that got his ass handed to him, he got his jaw broken in this. I don't know if YouTube wants us to air fights or you know, like I'd imagine the audio portion of this isn't as great as I am not, but the audio is great. You can envision this in your head. You know what's happening. When I say Kelowna Golf Course, you envision exactly the individuals that are being filmed right now. You envision them. You know who I'm talking about. There's some goon that just got his belly's out. He took a walk. He's got to cool off. He just got his ass kicked. And allegedly got his jaw broken with the last shot. It was a good right hand right down the pipe and landed right on the button, dropped his ass. And then his buddy decides to jump in and he's giving the, well, what are you going to do about it as he's running backwards? You know, you just watch another male get dismantled in front of him. And now you're feeling a little uppity. You know, that's your buddy. He just got his ass kicked. I got to step in and save his end. Like, we still got the, you guys are fucked. That's what I mean. Tensions are high in the country right now. We're taking the war to the golf course. We're going to see we're preparing ourselves for an American invasion. And these are the men that are going to be on the front lines. Fucking, you want to go? Gloves off, stick down. Let's do it.
It's true.
What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Just take it down.
What is wrong with you?
I'll tell you what's wrong. You've been taking 4.5 hours.
Grow the fuck up.
Way too fucking long.
Grow up. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. You don't hit into people, motherfucker. You never hit into people. Yes, you fucking did.
Oh, this is
Wild.
You did. Somebody, one of you did. Yes, you.
Should have been hitting into you all fucking day. Shut the fuck up. So we were patient with you. Yeah, wait. And then that was it. Trust me, this has never happened before.
What's wrong with you?
Don't get away with that shit.
What is wrong with you? You guys are fucking in the head. Fuck in the head. Grow the fuck up.
Learn how to golf.
Yeah, you
Learn how to golf.
Nothing I love more than a little tension on the golf course. Learn how to fucking golf, dummy. This wouldn't have happened. Your husband wouldn't have got shit pumped if he just learned how to golf. That's the violence escalating in British Columbia. That's the palate cleanser of the day. Maybe we need to do that on this show, is just find something that we all can sit back and laugh at. Like, who fights on a golf course? This guy's acting like he's Suge Knight in the 90s, showing up with a 9-iron to beat some fucking record executive to a pulp. Enough with it, okay? It's Monday night golf, folks. It's Monday night golf. We take this serious out in Kelowna.
I know. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it. This is assault.
You don't hit into people.
No, I didn't. One of you did.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. It's not to be a...
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The palate cleanser, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get... That's exactly what we needed on this show. We are getting way too political for way too long. And now the folks out in British Columbia are fist fighting one another. And what does it say here? Now we have to talk about the proverbial 800-pound gorilla in the room, the dude who lost his shirt and left with a broken jaw. That's what I mean. Just mind your business. Learn how to play golf. According to the thread on Reddit, it all began when the blue shirt group hit a ball into the other group ahead of them that was playing slow. That sparked the brawl. An article from the Penticton News, which was updated yesterday afternoon, says the West Kelowna Royal Canadian Mounted Police were investigating the incident and that they would not comment on further ongoing investigation. What's there to investigate, folks? Couple guys heated up. We got Michelob Ultras in the cooler. What do you want to do about it? Fucking Monday night golf. Caught on camera, palate cleanser complete. And we move on in British Columbia as the lawlessness still continues. It does not stop as a 62-year-old security guard got his fingertip bitten off. I'll repeat that again for the folks in the back. A 62-year-old security guard in Vancouver got his fingertip bitten off, and we head on over to Global News and let the reporter take over from here.
Been a gruesome attack in downtown Vancouver.
Gruesome.
It happened about 10:30 in the morning on Thursday outside Granville Square.
Oh,
Vancouver
yes.
police say the victim had a brief encounter with a suspect who then attacked him and bit off one of his fingertips.
Oh.
The 62-year-old security guard was taken to hospital. 32-year-old Derek Driscoll is now charged with 1 count of aggravated assault.
Oh, yeah.
and is being held in custody.
What? 62 years old. That's who's on the front line against that's who's keeping the public. 62 years old. Is that what we want? Is that who we're strapping up in security? Nobody wants the job. Nobody cares about public safety anymore. 62-year-olds bored, looking for something to do. Usually those jobs, I recall at a time where security guards were just, they were there just to kind of yell at people. Now we're getting a little more violent. We allow the criminals to get away with it just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So what? He lost a fingertip. You know what? Some people lose their lives in war. Be lucky. Count your lucky stars. You know what I mean, folks? This is. We're looking at the end. We're looking at the end of this is where we're at. The 62-year-olds are now out there to publicly defend you. That's who's your safety is in their hands. All right, and they're getting their fingertips bitten off on the front lines, and it gets worse in Vancouver. Something like this should not be happening. And we're talking about Vancouver, which is a drug-riddled, just utopia for fucking insanity. Like, you can get away with whatever the hell you would like in that city, and it goes on. It does not stop. The BC law hard at work. What we're witnessing is the destruction of a high trust society due to these intellectuals and I should say pseudo intellectuals that we vote into these positions that they should be putting your care and safety at the forefront, but then pass laws that allow the criminals to get away with such acts of biting a fingertip off of. And not only that, they are allowing these individuals to run rampant in the streets and just juicing them full of these narcotics. So it makes it rather difficult when you want to enforce the law. Now, I'm not saying that a security officer, there's really not what you're protecting a building. You're just making sure that the addicts aren't going inside these stores and robbing them. And at the end of the day, do they care? No, it's just something to do. 62 years old. Is that what you want to end up doing? Is getting into altercations with fentanyl addicts? These drug riddled lunatics that are biting off your fucking fingers. Is that what you want to do at that age? No. Because in this nation, the affordability or to afford anything, you got to work yourself into the grave and you'd think maybe if this guy just made the right investments when he was younger, just got to pull up your bootstraps and work hard. So we need to hire the elderly, and I'm not saying that 62 is that old, but that's your father's age. I don't look at either of any male in my family at the ripe age at 62 and think to myself, yeah, you know what? That should be the guy that has a security vest on, protecting the public and these storefronts. No. You be smart and you give it to a misogynistic immigrant that just landed here and be like, we got a wonderful job for you. You know what? We understand that you don't understand the language, but what you do understand is an altercation. And you've come from a war-torn country, and what we're going to do is give you a flashlight and a walkie-talkie, and you can club any of these individuals over the head. You're a young fighting age male, and what we need you to do is protect the brick and mortar store of Lululemon, because theft is too high, and we need to protect our investment. So I need you to put on this vest. I know that your life is at risk and possibly being shivved to death or losing a fingertip, but listen, these women need these overpriced garments. Now, moving on. So this is the reality that exists in living in Vancouver. Man accused of setting VPD officer on fire has lengthy history with the law. Of all things, could you imagine somebody who would want to light an officer on fire? I imagine that this individual is mentally stable and deserves to have bail. That's why I like the justice system in British Columbia. It keeps us all honest. And maybe it is around the whole nation. Maybe it's around the whole country, but we got to give these people a chance. See, you're all wrong here. Let's close it out and really infuriate more people on the reality that exists for some folks around this great, wonderful nation.
Another after a VPD officer was the man accused of assaulting a peace officer and omitting to assist another after a VPD officer was set on fire was wanted province-wide on 10 outstanding charges.
Ooh.
Since 2022, 40-year-old Jordan Mutual has been in and out of jail.
Good for him.
Accused of possessing a prohibited firearm with ammo,
Good.
a firearm without a license,
Nice.
and a weapon for a dangerous purpose.
Ah.
Then assault by choking.
Okay,
assault,
shortly after.
Uttering death threats, more firearms charges, and a breach.
Oh.
Months later, 2 more breaches.
Oh.
According to court documents, Mutual was
It's almost
released
like
on
when you let this guy out that he just doesn't
$1,000
care.
and ordered to live in this West End apartment building
Right.
behind me under electronic monitoring and 24-hour house arrest. Less than a month before his arrest last Thursday, a warrant was issued for Mutual's arrest on 2 charges of breaching his release order.
Every
Interesting.
time there's a horrific case like we saw, it's our job to understand
Right.
if the system failed, and if it did fail, where were the gaps that we need to step in. So I do that every time, and I will be doing that in this case.
In 2020,
There. That's what we needed. The BC Attorney General coming out and making sure that they are going to step in to ensure that the safety of Vancouverites is taken very seriously. Lights a fucking a peace officer on fire. You know, the reality of the law, like the reality that we exist in, is that the law just doesn't have no weight whatsoever. You can do whatever the hell you want in this great state, or in the state of the nation. You can do whatever the hell you want. The criminals are the only ones making money. This guy had stacks of cash all the time. You wonder yourself, like, why am I going and grinding away at my job, slaving away day in, day out, so that, like, what, the government can take a half? I got tax-free dollars. He had, like, at one point, $6,000 cash in a fanny pack. Do you have $6,000 cash in a fanny pack? No, you don't. Of course you don't. You don't even have $6,000 in a bank account. Come on, grow up. You got to turn to crime. You can do whatever the hell you want. Christ almighty. The drug crisis and the opioid crisis and the money that people are just letting slip through their fingertips right now. I mean, what you're going to... There's an advisory not to go to the States anymore, so travel plans are out the window. You're going to get fucking interrogated at the border, so why not just spend your life living in what Sam Walker states, that Canada is a narco-terror state, which... I think he nails it with this one. I mean, you're lighting police officers on fire. You're selling fentanyl, fucking making money, enjoying your time, doing whatever you want. Breach of conditions. Your bail set at $1,000. Who gives a shit? You'll be out next week within the hour, more than likely. I wish there was a way to make this funny. I think the BC Attorney General just coming out and being like, you know, we're going to take this very serious. It's no hidden secret that crime is rampant throughout the streets of Vancouver and then in the downtown east side. You know, like, I watched protesters walk over people overdose. I shouldn't say they were overdosing. I'm inflating the story. I'm exaggerating this for dramatic effect. But there is people that were outside of our show in Vancouver screaming, losing their minds. Meanwhile, you had, the finest of the downtown east side along the sidewalks with their tents out and all this. And that is not an issue. That is a zero issue in their mind. It's the fact that comedians are in town, and they made a very off-color joke one time. But this is and again, this comes down, I think, to, like, who wants a job like that? You want to be a peace officer? you can't even uphold the law. Now, I'm not one to sit here and say that I'm a big fan of law enforcement. I'm not. I think, my thoughts and opinions of law and the enforcement of said laws is completely disregarded in this manner. Is the fact that somebody was able to light a police officer on fire who should be in prison, but we ignore that. These is like, I don't want to. We're going to close off on a bit of a rant here. I'm so tired of this left and right shit. And it's like, it's more so like, why are we not looking at this as like good versus evil? And in these individuals who are like, I want to say like under the spell and the possession of these illicit drugs that are on the street are making it rather difficult for the law, because they loosen the law up for those individuals, and then like somebody's supposed to step in and enforce this to ensure that the public's safe, and that's not the case whatsoever. Crime is rampant. We're in the middle of an election season. We're screaming at one another over whether or not Donald Trump is going to take the country. And at this point, send ICE up here, send the fucking military. What do I care? Where do these people are being sent to El Salvador? They're immigrants. Get them out here. That's what Trump will come in and just send these people to like some third world country, and it's their problem now. It's kind of like garbage in North Korea. You just send it to wherever it ends up. China, just fucking put it on a ship. No one steering the goddamn thing, and whatever beach it washes up on, not our problem, not our issue. Get rid of it. Who gives a shit? Tie it to a balloon. That's what we'll do. We'll tie these guys to a balloon and we'll just airdrop them like that weather balloon and the garbage balloons that China's using. And just when they drop down in fucking Haiti or wherever, they can take over there. The weather's better. I don't know if the drugs are better over there, but I'm sure they can make whatever is popular in those regions, their main choice. It's exhausting. It's exhausting existing in this world where paying attention to this, nobody who wants, you want to be walking down the street and be set on fire? Is that a metaphor of what the nation is like watching a police officer get set on fire? Is that just pure lawlessness in the nation? You can do whatever. It's a drug haven. It's a money laundering fucking utopia. If you are in the game, you can make things happen. That's why I'm saying that the last form of leisure is protesting. It costs you nothing. You can go and block bridges all across the country. You can scream and yell about whatever. You can just join forces with whatever is taking place that day right on your sign. It doesn't matter just everybody does their own thing. You're a singular individual inside of a large group, and the messaging is always misconstrued. Who cares? Nobody's really looking at the sign. They're irritated that you're blocking a major roadway, so that way they can go and take do with whatever leisurely activities that they want. So it's just like, it's nice. It's disrupt the public. And then when you get bored of that, you can go and commit crimes all day long. You just go and commit these crimes, light an officer on fire. Is that what you want to do in your spare time? You want to go and peddle drugs in the streets. It's the only way you can make money in this nation. It's the only way you can get ahead. It's like, we're just one big giant hood. Enjoy it while you can. We've got other issues that are on the table. We got to discuss those things. Those are more important than your safety. Christ, you know what I mean? Just fucking add to it. This is sheer insanity. You would watch movie. You would do this in a video game. Now it's reality. You'd walk around GTA, Vice City with a flamethrower, just lighting up fucking the police off. Oh, excuse me. Lighting up the police officers on a video game. Now you can make it a reality. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. isn't it? Because you want to believe in the right thing, and the people that are in the position to do the right thing aren't doing the right thing. So now you get irritated for that because you want to live just an honest, good, somewhat decent life. I feel like I feel like most people, the people that I interact anyways, it's just like a get up, go to work, and enjoy what little time that you do have with your friends and family, if you can afford to go and do things. And then on top of it, you're being advised not to travel to destinations to go and watch your favorite sports team, and then you try and go and hey, maybe I'll go to this part of the city. And it's I don't want to risk my window being smashed out. Instead, storefronts all have fucking, homeless littered all in front. There's nobody's presenting a solution. I mean, the attorney general comes out and is just nonchalant about, we'll take a look at this case. I got a luncheon that I need to get to. So let's wrap this interview up. I have a nice spread waiting for me upstairs in this beautiful government building. Oh God, the caviar is fresh. The slices of sandwich meat are so thin. I don't even know how they do it. The conversations that these people are having with no regard to anything that could potentially make your life better is fascinating to me. All right, folks, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/DangerCat69. We're going to continue the conversation and enjoy yourself out there. A great way to support the show. Hey, we're bringing this to, we're talking about these things. We got to get them out in the open and discussing this type of shit. And, somewhat try to, I don't know, what do you do about it? You go to the Patreon, patreon.com/DangerCat69. See you all there, and thanks for supporting the show. See you next week at Thursday, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. For tickets, head on over to DangerCatShop.com. We appreciate you. Good night, everybody.